Alright, the lads, it's the preview show from Barcelona, from a rooftop bar in Barcelona. Me, Gareth Roberts, John Gibbons and Josh Sexton, previewing the big game against Barcelona. Feel like Channel 4, you know, like James Richardson and some like posh foreign bar and all that sort of stuff. But it's an exciting one, isn't it, Gibbo? Barcelona are a huge name in world football, 26 league titles, 5 European Cups. You know, they're not bad. Highest paid sports team in the world, second richest club in the world. Klopp, it seems, has annoyed them a little bit by saying the new camp is not a temple of football and nothing to be worried about. That's annoyed the barman here, but it's the right kind of message though, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's funny because it was the first thing the barman said, wasn't it? It was like, oh yeah, we're not happy with Klopp, like, and then we looked up the quotes. And to be fair, if an opposition manager come to Anfield and said that, we'd be like rubbing our hands together, would we? So it may be a little bit unnecessary, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Jurgen's got a plan on it. I'm sure he knows what he's doing, and maybe he's, you know, aware that, you know, the players might have a bit of nerves coming to such a big ground, coming to Barcelona. As you say, it still is Barcelona. We might talk about the fact that they're not quite at the level of maybe they were 3-4 years ago, but they're still top of the league. They're still an unbelievable side, and maybe he's just trying to say to the team, you know, to Liverpool, but we're great as well. You know, we said on our video last night that, you know, our fella in the hotel was worried. Just met up with Paul Senior, who said the taxi driver saying he thinks Liverpool are the best team in the world. And so I think there's a feeling here that Liverpool are going to take some beating, and so maybe Jurgen's just trying to get that across to his players that, you know, it might be Barcelona, but everyone's talking about Liverpool at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and rightly so, Josh. I mean, they are top of La Liga, they are champions, they have just won it at the weekend there. But when you look at the table, you know, it's Atletico there in second, who sort of kept them most honest out of any of the clubs, really, and then Real Madrid are way off, 65 points, and I think Barcelona on 83 or thereabouts. Do you think maybe because they've had it quite easy, that they maybe, I mean, this is me fishing because I'm a Liverpool fan, but, you know, they maybe haven't been tested that much during their domestic season. I know they've done quite well in Europe. They've won 4 out of 5 in the Champions League at the new camp this season, including Tonkin Lyon and Tonkin Man United, but they're shit, so who's arsed? But it's, do you know what I mean? Do you think Liverpool can surprise them with the intensity of the way Liverpool play, the way Liverpool can come out the traps, the way, you know, that front three is so difficult to deal with? Obviously, we're still sweating a little bit on Firmino, but either way, we've got threats in the side that can upset any side, haven't we?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a case of they've not been tested, but they've probably not played a side like Liverpool, and it's because of all the things you said there. Liverpool are one of the best teams in the world. I feel like I've said it on a few of the bits of content we've done now. Liverpool are a team that have got as much firepower as anyone going forward, and the sides in the Champions League is still there now. You look at Ajax, you look at Tottenham and Barca themselves. They've all got things going forward, but none of them have what Liverpool have in terms of defence. Liverpool are a really well-rounded team now, so you'd think it's going to be a surprise to Barcelona, because I think you see a lot of teams who've come to Anfield down the season, and you've seen a lot of teams who've played against Liverpool, maybe underestimated them a bit. It's interesting, Gibbo saying about the managers who've come to Anfield, and there's been a few over the recent seasons who've said, oh, Anfield's not going to be this. I remember Nagelsmann, the Hoffenheim manager, a few others sort of, you know, making them sort of suggestions that Anfield's not going to be what it's cracked up to be, and the team aren't going to be what it's cracked up to be. But then it's a massive surprise to them, the way Liverpool play and the intensity that Liverpool play with, and I think you'll see that again tomorrow night.
Not just Gibbo, it's not just about Liverpool being one of the best sides in the world as well. Liverpool are probably surely one of the fittest sides in the world as well, and you know, there's lots and lots to talk about Messi, and obviously, you know, us ourselves when we're talking about it, we're sort of saying to each other, well, you know, he can do anything, can't he? He can win a game from anywhere, he can score mad goals, he can take 3 or 4 on and put it in the back of the net, seemingly at will at times. But if you simply don't let him have the ball, you know, if you win the midfield battle and they don't get the ball to him, you can't do fuck all.
Yeah, no, that is true. I'm sorry, I've got a Barcelona fan pulling faces at me over there, I think, trying to put me off. I think you're right, and I think the intensity that Liverpool are able to play at, and not just play at for 5-10 minutes, but sustain, I think might surprise Barcelona, and the way they like to play out the back. I mean, look, they can ping it round you, and suddenly you look stupid. So they've got technical players who can beat the press, but also they're obviously, you know, they will be trying to. You know, Liverpool will be looking to set traps as well, and Liverpool will be looking to score a similar goal to like what Naby Keita scored the other night, where suddenly he's there and you know, he's blindsided the fella and we're through. So I think they'll fancy it. Liverpool is what I'm trying to say. I think they'll think that there's opportunities there, but at the same time, you can't underestimate them in terms of, you know, the technical skills. They're all technically great players. You know, as I say, they are able to ping a few passes round you, and suddenly, you know, you've pressed them, you've committed 4 or 5 men forward, and they've gone through, and they can get a goal out of nothing as well. You know, Messi, obviously an amazing player. Suarez, we all know about. You saw the goal that Coutinho scored the other week in the Champions League, you know, 25-yard, the top corner. So that needs to concern Liverpool a bit as well, because I expect Liverpool to be on top, certainly for parts of the game, but also Barca can get a goal out of nothing.
Okay, well, we're in Barcelona, but Neil's back in the studio. He's got his tactics board as ever. And here is Neil looking at the tactics board, looking at what might unfold in the new camp.
Here we are then, you've heard of these. This is not the same as when I do Huddersfield at home or Huddersfield away, and I'm checking my phone and I've written it down and I've double checked it and I've had to do all sorts. We know what Barcelona are about. We can almost say the formation will be 4-3-2, Messi. He will go where he needs to, this little fella here. He might end up in there, he might end up over there, he might end up along there, he might go and play number 9 and get rid of him, and he can go and do something else. The point is that the team belongs to him. The team belongs to Leo Messi. That's the thing about this Barcelona side, and he will spend much of the time before this game and then during the first 15 minutes trying to work out where he can most hurt Liverpool. The rest of them, it will be Ter Stegen in goal. It looks like it will be Longley next to Piqué at the back. Alba left back really will need watching. Such a threat up and down that left hand side, loads and loads of pace. Then you're looking at on the right hand side Roberto. Then you've got Busquets, you've got Artur, and you've got Rakitic. Luis Suarez, you've heard of him. The question mark is Coutinho or Dembele. If I was picking the Barcelona side to play at both the Camp Nou and at Anfield against Liverpool, I would be picking Dembele. That would be what I would do, and the reason why is it would keep Liverpool very honest about where the defensive line is. They will not want to overcommit in those circumstances. There's a chance they might try to use Alba in that regard, have him absolutely sprinting up the pitch. For instance, Coutinho's worldie against Manchester United comes from an Alba run, a lovely ball from Messi, back to Coutinho, 25 yards out, cop for that. They might try and use Alba in that regard. I would just be really, really straightforward with it. I'd be using all the pace. I'd be watching the tapes if I was Barcelona of the Paris Saint-Germain away game, and I'd be wondering, how do we best do that? And the way to best do that is to copy it and make sure there's one player up front who's got unbelievable pace. Let Suarez be Cavani and let Messi be 100 times the player Neymar could ever dream of being, which is what he is. Liverpool will pick the greatest player of all time. No arguments, I'm not messing about. He is the greatest player of all time. Everybody else has just got to accept it. There's a gulf between him and all the other contenders. Everyone else, Maradona, George Best, Chris Marsden, they can all have a big row about it. They can all sort it out amongst themselves. Cristiano Ronaldo, you name it, they can sort it out amongst themselves as to who is number 2. Leo Messi is number 1. How Liverpool keep him quiet, I can't wait to see how they do it. I think the best way to do it is to accept that he's going to play really, really well, but just try to ensure he does most of it as far away from our goal as possible.
Nice one to echo there. I don't know what Neil said there, because I'm in Barcelona and he's in the studio, but one of the things I wanted to ask you both about is, you know, there's the focus, as we were talking in the first half, on Messi a lot. But, you know, it's interesting that one of the key players in Liverpool's side is Andy Robertson. You know, he's got all these assists, he's been vital to Liverpool all season. Barca are similar in that their left back is very, very good, very key to what they do, and another player that Liverpool need to be concerned with and need to be looking to stop.
Yeah, I think, you know, Dani Alves was sort of reinvented what a fullback was all about, wasn't he? And he was obviously an amazing player for Barcelona, and I think, you know, people used to talk about, oh, what was he like at the back in Barcelona? I'm like, we're not bothered. He set up 15 goals this year, he scored 5, and that's what he used to do. And I think Barcelona kind of set the template that Liverpool have, and a lot of clubs have followed in a way, in terms of what you expect from your fullbacks, how high up the pitch you expect them to be. You know, you look at heat maps and things like that, and quite often the likes of Trent and Robbo, where their average position's further forward than the midfielders now. You know, the real flying wingers really, and they're weighing in with assists. We keep talking about this Ken Early piece, don't we? Ken Early fanboys, and but he talks about the fact that 10 years ago, you know, your assists were all from midfielders, whereas now, you know, 5 of the top 10 are fullbacks, and Robbo, Trent are right up there. they're going to have to think about going the other way a little bit as well, obviously, because of the forward players that Barcelona have got. I'm not quite sure the team they're going to pick, but I imagine Messi being there and Suarez, whether he picks Dembele, what he does with Coutinho, we'll have to wait and see. But they're going to have to think about going the other way. But I'm sure they'll look to get forward. But as you say, the Barcelona fullbacks are the same. They're at home. They'll have licence to go, and Liverpool are going to have to track them, and it's how we look to do that. Really, do you put it on the midfield? What kind of midfield does he pick? I imagine it'll be the more industrial one that seems to kind of annoy a few people. But I think as well, if it's Salah and Mane wide, they're going to have a little think about kind of tracking back at times as well, which they do, to be fair. But we want them pressing up, but also as well, they're going to have to be a little bit conscious of what's going on behind them.
I don't think Trent or Robertson will be worried though. I'm not saying they'll be complacent, but we were all buzzing going into the Champions League final last season where we seen Trent coming out and he was saying he wasn't worried about anything that Cristiano Ronaldo could do, and I think they'll have the same mindset going into this.
And he played him really well.
Exactly, yeah. They're both lads who can defend as well as get forward, and they both relish these big tests. I think of going into the game at Anfield last year, and people were questioning whether Trent would be able to deal with Leroy Sané, and I think that's still to this day the best I've seen him play in a Liverpool shirt. Andy Robertson was probably one of our probably our star man in the Champions League final against Cristiano Ronaldo. Puts in that amazing tackle that stops him. Unfortunately, obviously it doesn't go Liverpool's way in the end, but they're two players who've become massively important for us now, and it's because of the way they fit this style, the way they fit this team. They're the perfect Jurgen Klopp players, I think.
I think what you're both touching on here as well as another key point for as we look ahead to this game is that Liverpool now, and this Liverpool side, these Liverpool players, have got the experience of going to big grounds, playing big teams and getting results. We've done it this season in Munich. It's a year ago today since we went to Rome, and okay, we get beat out there, but it was good enough to go through. They've got that stands you in good stead for going to places like this, doesn't it? And back to that Klopp comment, okay, these boys here have seen it as being a little bit disrespectful, but probably what he's thinking psychologically wise is just go and do that again, boys, and don't worry about where you're actually playing the match.
Yeah, I mean, look, it might be the biggest stadium a lot of these players have ever played in terms of how many people are going to be in the ground tomorrow, and maybe that's something the Klopp's thinking about. But as you rightly say, this team have stepped up so many times now that it's sort of not in question. Where you're not worried like, oh, is it going to be too big for them? Is the occasion going to be too big? They've risen to every occasion over the last 12 months and longer. You mentioned the Rome game, obviously the City one when we go into the Etihad, 3-0 up, but the fact that Jesus scores early and they've got to temper the storm and then come out second half and score twice. Obviously, coming through in Rome, Kiev didn't go how we wanted to, but as you've both kind of said there, that certain players did step up and certain players who we thought might struggle in the situation, we're there, we're counting for Liverpool. This year, the league campaign's been relentless, but Liverpool kept winning and winning and winning, and these players believe in themselves, they believe in each other, they believe in the manager, and they believe in what they're doing, and they'll see this is a great opportunity to get to another Champions League final. I
think you mentioned it in one of your columns earlier in the season, Gibbo, that this is a Liverpool team who for want of a better phrase, almost they just love telling people to fuck off. They love proving the doubters wrong, and this feels like another occasion. It's Klopp saying that to me just seems like he's sort of sticking two fingers up and saying, well, yeah, you might have the new camp and you might have 100,000 fans and you've got your atmosphere and all these world star players, but we've got a boss team as well, and we've got a team who we think are the best in Europe, the best in the world. We've got players there, lads who we know can step up on these big stages, and who we know, I'm sure there'll be tackles flying in tomorrow night, particularly if James Milner's playing. I'm sure he's going to want to stick one on a few of their lads early on. So I think this is a Liverpool team who can rise to this occasion.
What do you think then, Josh, team-wise? It's probably not going to contain too many surprises. The goalie's the goalie. The front three's the front three. If Firmino's fit, he's going to play. If he's not, well, I guess that's why I'm asking you the questions here, so go on. What are you going for?
I think if Firmino doesn't play, it needs to be Origi. I thought Sturridge looked like a man who has left Liverpool Football Club the other night. He didn't really get into the game at all. Every time he did, he looked like he was going for a shot and looked like he was almost looking to pad his own stats. And I feel a bit harsh saying that because I'm a massive fan of Sturridge, and I have been a massive fan of Sturridge throughout his Liverpool career, but he looks to me like a man who's out the door now. So I think I'll probably start Origi on the left hand side, move Mane into the centre. In terms of the midfield, I agree with Gibbo. I think we're probably going to see the Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner three, which I know people don't like, but it's got us through these tests before, and Klopp has absolutely no reason not to trust it, to be honest. And then I think the back five picks itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, okay. Well, that has been the preview show from a rooftop bar in Barcelona. We're having a lovely time. If you're out here, you are too. If you're not, we'll keep enjoying our content. There's loads of video, loads of podcasts, loads of stuff on the website. There's the newly launched app now as well. And we're on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram and, of course, YouTube. Up the fucking Reds. Let's do it again. Let's beat Barca in their own backyard. Just like 07. Up the Reds.